Friends, thank you so much for your incredible support on the last video. Your comments, your likes, and your kind words really inspired me to keep exploring this beautiful country. So today, I want to take you a little deeper to show you Poland not just as a destination, but as a place with its own rhythm, its own character, and its own quiet soul. Poland is one of those countries that keeps changing, yet never loses itself. It has managed to modernize without forgetting its roots, holding on to tradition while embracing the future with confidence. Here, history lives in the streets, in the buildings, and even in the way people move. And yet, there's this energy, a forward motion that makes you feel the country is alive, still growing, still reinventing itself. Many people think they know what Poland is like. But once you spend a few days here, you start to see how layered it really is. In the big cities, there's movement, business, and technology. In the smaller towns, calm, family life, and a sense of time that still moves slowly. It's a land of contrasts, and somehow, all of those contrasts make sense together. Yes, housing prices have gone up. In Warsaw or Krakow, rent can already feel close to Western Europe. But even so, Poland remains one of the most affordable countries in the European Union. Groceries, transport, cafes, and everyday services are still far cheaper than in France, Germany, or the Netherlands. And yet, the quality of life is solid. The cities are clean, transportation works, and you can feel that everyday comfort that makes life easier. There's a special kind of order here, not cold, not strict, but practical and human at the same time. The streets are safe, the parks are green, the public spaces are cared for. It feels like a country that's genuinely built for people, not just for cars or offices. And then there are the people themselves. Poles are often quiet at first, but genuine once you get to know them. They respect rules, they value time, and they believe in hard work. But there's also warmth, and honest, unpretentious kindness. You'll notice it when someone helps you find your way, or simply smiles at you for no reason. It's not loud friendliness. It's something real, something that stays with you. Finding work here isn't hard. especially for those with skills. The economy is steady, and the job market keeps expanding, from industry and logistics to IT, healthcare, and education. Many foreigners come here for a few months and end up staying for years because Poland gives you something rare: stability. It has rhythm, opportunity, and space for both ambition and peace of mind. What I also love here is the respect for traditions. Even with all the modernity, Poland hasn't lost its roots. Sundays are still for family. During Christmas or Easter, everything slows down. Cities go quiet, stores close, and people just spend time together. It's not a sign of the past. It's a reminder that life is more than just work. What I truly admire is how Poles balance ambition with calm. After work, they go for walks, meet friends, sit outside cafes, or just enjoy the long summer evenings. It's a culture of small pleasures, and that's exactly what makes the country feel so peaceful. You don't have to chase excitement here. It naturally finds you in people's smiles, in their calm, in the sound of life moving at its own pace. Of course, Poland isn't perfect. It has its debates, its challenges, its own contradictions. But what stands out is progress. Steady, grounded human progress. Cities grow, the economy strengthens, and culture remains alive. It's a country that feels European not because of trends, but because of values, balance, community, and care. Thank you, my friends, for watching and for being part of this journey. Your support truly means a lot. Every view, every like, every comment, it helps me keep creating and sharing more stories from Europe. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do. It's free and it really helps the channel grow. Thank you again for your time. See you soon in the next city with new faces, new stories, and the same love for travel and life. Today, I want to tell you about Warsaw. Not as a capital city, but as a place where you can see how love has changed in the modern world. Here, on these streets, traditions mix with new habits. Old values meet modern rhythms. And you can feel it not only in the architecture, but most of all, like in the people. But before we begin, I want to thank everyone who watches and supports my videos. Your likes, comments, and subscriptions mean a lot. They're not just numbers. They show that you connect with what I create. Every bit of feedback helps me travel more, film more, and share Europe the way I truly see it. So if you enjoy my work, please hit the like button and subscribe. It's simple for you, but it makes a huge difference for me. Warsaw is a city that's always in motion. People hurry to work, meet friends, fall in love, and start over again. Sometimes it feels like a miniature version of all of Europe. You see business professionals, students, tourists, and, of course, women with that quiet, confident energy that draws your attention right away. Poland's idea of beauty has changed over the years. It's become more natural, less formal. You don't need to pretend to be someone else here. Warsaw women carry that effortless kind of grace that can't be faked, the kind that comes from inner confidence. At first, you might think that in a big city, meeting people is easy. There are smiles, glances, chance encounters in the metro or on the street. But modern Warsaw, like most cities today, has changed how people connect. Dating apps are a part of life now, just as normal as morning coffee or a walk along the river. Yet even in this digital age, something deeply human remains. A laugh shared between strangers, a short conversation that lasts longer than you expected, a connection that can't be explained by algorithms. Here, chemistry still exists. Love hasn't disappeared. It's simply taken a new shape. Locals know how to find balance. They're ambitious and driven, but also warm and grounded. That's why Warsaw feels not only dynamic, but also personal, like a city that still values closeness. Everywhere you go, you see couples, young, old, new, familiar. Love here doesn't look exaggerated or staged. It's quiet, natural, and steady. It's in small gestures, in a look, a smile, a hand being held on the way home. Warsaw has learned to evolve. People here embrace change, but without losing their roots. It's a city for those who want not only success, but also balance between work, rest, and real connection. Even in this big city, you can still find peace. A park, a riverbank, a quiet side street where time slows down. And when you see the women walking by, each of them carries a story. Maybe untold, but easy to feel. And that's what gives Warsaw its soul, not the buildings, but the people. What I love most is how real it all feels. No one pretends here. You don't need to act to be noticed. Polish women combine ambition with kindness, confidence with humility, and that balance commands respect. Modern Warsaw is open but not careless. People are curious yet reserved. They're not afraid to connect, but they protect their space. And just like the city itself, they reveal their depth slowly, one layer at a time. When you add it all together, you understand why Warsaw is so magnetic. It's not just about the architecture or the progress, it's about authenticity. Here, love may look different now, but its essence remains the same. To find someone you feel comfortable beside without losing who you are. Friends, thank you for watching and for being part of this journey. Your support truly helps me keep exploring and sharing more of Europe, its people, its rhythm, and the quiet beauty of everyday life. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe, leave a comment, and join me again in the next one. Today I'm walking through Warsaw, a city that didn't just rebuild itself after destruction, it reinvented what it means to live. And maybe that's why there's so much energy here, so much life, and a kind of beauty that shows through people themselves. Warsaw is where worlds meet. Poles, Ukrainians, Belarusians, Lithuanians. Different backgrounds, one rhythm. In cafes, you hear Polish and Ukrainian mixed together. And the streets are full of faces that feel familiar, even if you've never seen them before. It's a modern city, young and ambitious, but beneath the glass towers there's warmth. People hurry to work, yet they still make time for life, a walk through the park, a quick chat, a quiet moment by the river. The women here, they stand out. Confident, stylish, natural. They walk fast, talk fast, smile easily. You can feel that sense of independence, the kind that comes from knowing who you are and where you're going. There are many Ukrainian women here, and they've become part of the city's pulse. Some came for work, others to study, but most stayed because Warsaw feels like a place where you can start over. In this mix of old and new, tradition and modern life, they found a space that feels their own. The riverfront has its own charm. Here, life slows down. People sit on the steps with coffee. Couples watch the water. Friends share music straight from a phone. On warm days, Warsaw feels almost southern, bright, open, full of small joys that happen right on the street. What strikes me most is the balance. This city combines everything. Western rhythm with Eastern soul. Business towers with cozy neighborhoods. The rush of the metro with the calm of someone walking in a summer dress. Not hurrying anywhere, just living. Warsaw isn't like Krakow or Wrocław. It's more international, more forward-looking, but it still keeps that human connection. You can meet people easily, in parks, in cafes, on the tram. And maybe that's why so many new stories begin here. When you watch people, especially women, you start to see that the beauty of Warsaw isn't just in the architecture or the skyline. It's in the way people move, talk, and look at each other. It's not about perfection. It's about authenticity, a quiet confidence that makes the city feel alive. Maybe that's what draws people here. Warsaw gives everyone space to be themselves. Some build careers, some open cafes, some just sit by the river and watch the sunset. The city welcomes them all the same. So when you come to Warsaw, don't rush. Take your time. Walk the streets, watch the people, listen to the rhythm of the city. It speaks softly, but it always has something to say. And if you enjoyed this moment, please leave a like, write a comment, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Your support helps me travel, film, and share more stories like this one. From cities, from people, and from life itself.
Welcome to my channel, Travelly Voyage. Warsaw is not the kind of city that tries to charm you right away. It doesn't flirt, it doesn't pose, and it doesn't perform for visitors who arrive with expectations shaped by other European capitals. And maybe that's exactly why Warsaw feels different almost immediately, even if you can't explain it in the first few minutes. There's no obvious romance here, no postcard fantasy waiting for you around the corner, and no feeling that the city is trying to sell you a carefully packaged story. Instead, Warsaw feels focused, grounded, and quietly confident, like a place that knows exactly where it's going and doesn't need permission or approval to get there. That mindset slowly becomes visible as you walk, not so much in buildings or landmarks, but in people, and especially in women, because Warsaw women reflect the character of this city more clearly than anything else you might notice at first glance.
Poland is one of those countries that keeps changing, yet never loses itself. It has managed to modernize without forgetting its roots, holding on to tradition while embracing the future with confidence. Here, history lives in the streets, in the buildings, and even in the way people move. And yet, there's this energy, a forward motion that makes you feel the country is alive, still growing, still reinventing itself.
Less theater and much more practicality in the way everyday life unfolds. Women here reflect that same approach. They are independent, composed, and self-aware. Their confidence isn't loud or performative. It comes from stability and self-respect. Interactions don't feel rushed, and emotions aren't exaggerated. Everything feels measured, balanced, and intentional, as if time is respected here. What makes Warsaw women stand apart is not appearance, but attitude. There's a quiet seriousness mixed with warmth, and that combination reveals itself gradually rather than instantly. They feel comfortable in motion, comfortable in silence, and comfortable relying on themselves. In many European capitals, attention comes first and substance later. In Warsaw, it often works the other way around. Interest grows through familiarity, through consistency, through showing up more than once, and being present rather than impressive. This creates a very different kind of attraction, one that doesn't rush, doesn't perform, and doesn't try to overwhelm. You don't feel entertained or chased. Instead, you feel noticed, observed, and gradually understood, just as you begin to understand the city itself. Warsaw doesn't soften interactions. It simplifies them. There's less guessing, less social theater, and far less emotional noise. People tend to say what they mean, and mean what they say, and that honesty changes the way connections form. The city itself supports this mindset. Warsaw is modern, open, and functional. Streets are wide, movement is clear, and public spaces feel designed for real life rather than visual display. That practical environment shapes how people interact, removing unnecessary pressure from everyday encounters. Women here respond to calm confidence rather than intensity, to consistency rather than sudden gestures, and to presence rather than performance. And that's what makes Warsaw feel refreshingly real in a continent filled with curated impressions and polished illusions. Warsaw doesn't try to be beautiful in the traditional sense. It doesn't compete with Paris, Rome, or Vienna, and it doesn't attempt to recreate their charm. Instead, it exists on its own terms, focused on progress, functionality, and growth. This is what makes the city memorable. Warsaw doesn't distract you with excess. It sharpens your attention. It doesn't overwhelm your senses. It invites you to engage with what's actually happening around you. People moving through their routines, conversations unfolding naturally, and life continuing without performance. Warsaw feels different because it doesn't pretend. And in that honesty, in that quiet strength, it offers something many European capitals no longer do, a sense of reality that feels grounding instead of exhausting. Warsaw is not a city you fall in love with instantly. It's a city you begin to respect. And over time, that respect turns into something deeper and more meaningful. Thanks for watching and for taking this walk through Warsaw with me. If you enjoy calm, honest stories about cities and the people who shape them, feel free to subscribe and continue the journey together. Warsaw is a city that learned how to be quiet, not because it had nothing to say, but because speaking too loudly was never a luxury it could afford. This is a place where emotions are not performed. They are carried inward, shaped by routine, by responsibility, by movement through space. You notice it, especially in women, in the way they walk, the way they look ahead, the way they exist in the city without asking for permission. Warsaw does not try to impress. It simply stands its ground, and that calm confidence defines everything around it. Warsaw is a city that had to rebuild itself completely from the ground up. And when you spend time here, you start to notice that this experience didn't turn into a story people tell, but into a way people live. Because rebuilding on that scale leaves no space for hesitation, no space for waiting until conditions become perfect, and instead creates a rhythm where things simply have to work, day after day, without drama and without unnecessary noise. And that pressure, which never really disappeared, shaped a very specific, everyday atmosphere, where reliability slowly became more important than self-expression, where consistency mattered more than ambition, and where people learned to move forward not because they felt inspired, but because stopping was never an option. This is something you can still feel when you walk through the city today, especially when you watch how women move through these spaces, not trying to attract attention, not trying to explain who they are, but simply existing with a kind of quiet certainty that comes from knowing how to handle life without turning it into a performance. In Warsaw, independence was never something abstract or ideological. It wasn't discussed or framed as a concept. It was practiced daily in small, practical ways, often without even being noticed, because responsibility here was never optional, and strength was built slowly through repetition, routine, and the understanding that things need to be done, whether you feel emotionally ready or not. You can see this in how people respect distance without becoming cold, in how movement through public spaces feels calm but purposeful, and in how the city never rushes, yet never feels lost. And this is where the character of Warsaw women becomes especially visible, not as an image or a stereotype, but as a presence that feels grounded, balanced, and very real, because they don't need to compete for space or attention. The city already gives them room to exist naturally, without exaggeration and without the need to prove anything. There is elegance here, but it is practical and lived in. There is femininity here, but it feels stable rather than decorative, and confidence doesn't arrive as something that needs to be announced. It simply grows over time through work and through living in a place that quietly expects you to be reliable instead of impressive, which is why strength in Warsaw often feels almost invisible, even though it is everywhere. Warsaw does not romanticize strength, and it doesn't turn it into a story that needs to be told or explained. It treats it as a normal part of life, something that exists quietly in the background, supporting everything else without demanding attention. That is why the city feels calm, even when it is busy, and grounded even when it is changing, because its foundation is built not on illusion or image, but on experience, repetition, and a clear sense of direction that has formed over time. And when you watch women moving through Warsaw, across streets, between buildings, through open spaces of glass and concrete, you begin to understand that this calm confidence is not something they switch on for the camera. It feels natural and unperformed, shaped by a city where strength does not need to be proven, and confidence does not need to be announced, because it already exists as part of everyday life. Thank you for watching, and if this atmosphere resonated with you, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, leave a like, and tell me what you think about Warsaw or how this city feels to you.